views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The F&M wants more answers on the moorings deal, demanding accountability over the canceled seabed lease. A murder case ends in a mistrial after jury tampering claims. And in our discussion today in Morning Blend Business, we're talking with the High Commissioner of Canada about Bahamas-Canada trade relations. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, February 26, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll get details about Footfest 2025. All the details you need to know about that event coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, F&M leader Michael Pintard says the government officials who were involved in the Davis administration's secret deal to grant a 21-year lease to Bahamas Moorings Limited to operate mooring services in the Exumas should be dismissed. Pintard says the F&M will not allow the matter to be swept under the rug. On Monday, the government announced that the agreement, which was only made public following public outcry, had been canceled. Pintard saying, quote, there must be accountability for the litany of transgressions that accompany the Bahamas Moorings secret deal, in spite of the Davis administration being forced to abandon this latest fiasco following pressure applied. One of the revelations on the matter was that Sandra Hilton Kemp, the Deputy Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, signed the lease as an agent of Bahamas Moorings Limited. Her husband, Philip Kemp II, is the company's president, according to a cease and desist letter dated February 21st, 2025, written to him by Exuma Keys Administrator Christopher Adderley. That cease and desist order was issued after the company started installing moorings in the Exumas in the absence of any environmental or other legally required approvals. A murder trial came to an unexpected end following claims of jury tampering. Justice Franklin Williams, KC, was expected to turn the case of Jonathan Armbrister over to the jury. Instead, Williams declared a mistrial and revoked Armbrister's bail after it was alleged that a juror had been approached. He's accused of the May 5th, 2020 fatal stabbing of Jeffrey Fowler at McQuaid Street. A jury unanimously convicting a man of sexually abusing a young boy. 30-year-old Basil McDonald looked back at his wife and shook his head after the jury returned their verdict. Justice Wilhelmina Archer-Mins ordered McDonald remanded into custody to await sentencing. He and his wife hugged each other before he was led away in handcuffs. The penalty phase of his trial will begin on April 24th. According to the evidence, McDonald molested the child in 2019 and 2020 while living with his family. McDonald moved in with the family after he told the oldest son, whom he worked with, that he needed somewhere to stay. The boy's mother said she regarded McDonald as one of her children and often referred to him as her son. Her younger son regarded McDonald as his best friend, and they played video games together. The mother said that McDonald often babysat her son while he and her other son went out. The mother says that in 2020, when her son was 9, she came home unexpectedly and saw McDonald sitting on the bed with her son with his hand around his waist. The mother said her son ran into the bedroom and refused to tell her if McDonald had molested him. You can read more about the story in today's Nassau Guardian. And amid backlash over a cabinet minister's revelation that the government rehired nearly 500 retirees, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said sometimes it, quote, isn't worth the trouble to answer questions in this country. He made the comment in a voice note on Monday as he again lamented the reaction from the F&M and some in the labor movement to the rehires. Mitchell saying, quote, in many respects, you can see why sometimes answering questions in this country, it isn't worth the trouble, really. I get the impression that people don't want to know the truth. All they want to do is find something to row about. As he questioned critics who he claimed want to attack police officers or teachers being rehired to fill needed gaps. Mitchell said data from the latest census shows birth rates in the country have fallen, leading to a declining population. Overseas, Hamas will return the bodies of 4 dead Israeli hostages on Thursday in exchange for Israel's release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The group making the announcement just days before the first phase of the ceasefire between the warring parties was to expire. Israel has delayed the release of about 600 Palestinian prisoners since Saturday to protest what it says is the cruel treatment of hostages during their release by Hamas. The militant group has said that the delay is a serious violation of their ceasefire and that talks on a second phase aren't possible until the Palestinians are freed. An Hamas spokesman saying to the Associated Press that Hamas would hand over the bodies of 4 Israelis the next day. In exchange, Israel will release the Palestinian prisoners as well as an unspecified number of women and minors detained since the militant group's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel that sparked the conflict. Ukraine and the U.S. have reached an agreement on a framework for broad economic deals that would include access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. That's according to 3 senior Ukrainian officials. The officials, who were familiar with the matter, speaking on condition of anonymity because they're not authorized to speak publicly. One of them telling the Associated Press that Kyiv hopes that signing the agreement will ensure that the continued flow of U.S. military support that Ukraine urgently needs. The agreement could be signed as early as Friday, as plans are being drawn up for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to travel to Washington to meet President Donald Trump. Another official said the agreement would provide an opportunity for Zelensky and Trump to discuss continued military aid to Ukraine, which is why Kyiv is eager to finalize the deal. Pope Francis sitting upright and receiving therapy for double pneumonia. The Vatican saying this today as Argentines and Romans alike gathered in the Eternal City to pray for his recovery. Francis remains in critical condition, though. The Vatican saying that it hoped to have information later today about the results of a CT scan taken on Tuesday to check on the status of the complex lung infection that has kept him hospitalized since February 14th. The Vatican says the Pope had a peaceful night and was up, sitting in his armchair on Wednesday, receiving therapy. Doctors have said he isn't out of danger, but hasn't had any further respiratory crises since Saturday. It is time for sports, brought to you by Kalik. At just 14 years old, Jazay Johnson is blossoming into one of the country's most promising young athletes. The St. John's College standout as a triple qualifier for the Bahamas for the Caribbean Games, one of just two Bahamian athletes to qualify in 3 events so far, the other being Cariza Thomas from Freeport. Johnson, sensational over the weekend, winning 4 gold medals in her age group at the Speed Capital Caribbean Showcase in Miramar, Florida. She captured the 200 meters in a personal best time of 24.81 seconds, winning the long jump, gold in the long jump with a massive personal best leap of 5.92 meters, and taking the triple jump gold with a leap of 11.60 meters. Also won the high jump event in the personal best leap of 1.57 meters. With her 4 gold medals, she earned the most valuable player trophy in the girls' 14s division. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, although Luka Doncic speaks 4 languages, he struggled for words to express just how strange it was to play against the Dallas Mavericks Tuesday night, just 23 days after his world was upended by Dallas's shocking decision to trade him. Doncic was on the Lakers' home court to face those same Mavericks. His feelings of betrayal and uncertainty still fresh, apparently. Doncic saying, quote, "It was just a lot of emotions I was feeling. I can't even explain. It was a different game. Sometimes I don't know what I was doing. I'm just glad it's over, honestly." Doncic's game was all over the place, just like his head, apparently. He posted his triple-double in a Lakers uniform, his first, but he also missed 11 of his 17 shots and was wild from the three-point range. He made a dozen sublime passes and at least that many big defensive plays, yet he could only score 2 points in the fourth quarter. In any event, LeBron James is his teammate now, and in that fourth quarter, Lakers' eager fans saw another glimpse of what Doncic and James can become, as James took over the game, scoring 16 of his 27 points in the final period, including 3 buckets on passes from Doncic to cap his superb playmaking performance. In the end, Doncic had 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists in the 81st triple-double of his career. By the way, the score of that game, 107-99, the Lakers winning against Dallas. At Sports, brought to you by Kalik, the beer of the Bahamas, inviting you to Victory Fest 2025 this Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler's Square, for an epic celebration of the 2024 Boxing Day and 2025 New Year's Day Juggler winners, the Saxon Superstars. Be there this Saturday at Smuggler's Square. Brought to you by Kalik, the beer of the Bahamas. Got your first look at weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Here's what's happening. We've got that cold front that continues to drift southeastwards into the southeastern Bahamas now. It's producing some shower activity while progressively weakening. Meanwhile, high pressure is building behind the front. That's over the northern Bahamas now. That front's going to stall over the southeast Bahamas and dissipate on Thursday. Slight troughing will increase shower chances across the northern Bahamas ahead of a weak front. Another weak front expected Friday morning. A weak pressure pattern will persist across the area into the weekend, supporting tranquil marine conditions. On Monday, another frontal boundary is expected. For today, we are looking at a mix of sun and clouds across most areas, becoming mostly fair tonight. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers today. For the northern islands, winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. For the rest of the country, including New Providence, light and variable, becoming easterly at 10 to 15 knots by this evening. Temperature-wise today, look for highs around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 62 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius for the northern and northwest Bahamas, a little bit warmer for the central and southeast Bahamas, in the mid to upper 60s for lows tonight, around 20 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Head over to Easy Car Sales and experience the electric drive that's impossible not to love. Take a test drive at their Gladstone Road or their new highway location at Abundant Life Road during the month of love, February, and you can enter for your chance to win a 2-night stay at the Grand Hyatt with a $500 resort credit. Visit easy242.com and feel the love this February at Easy Car Sales.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
You to Victory Fest 2025. Join us Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler Square for an epic celebration of the 2024 Boxing Day and 2025 New Year's Junkin' Winners, the Saxon Superstars. Enjoy music by Playhouse DJs, Lil Giant, DJ Tank, and performing live, Van Sean and D-Mac. Let's celebrate the 4 straight Junkin' Winners, Saxon Superstars. Victory Fest 2025, Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler Square. Hosted by Rika C. Gates open at 8 p.m. Let's celebrate Junkanoo, culture, and the Saxon Superstars. Collect reminds you to drink responsibly, play.
Dominican Republic, destination for the team. When an all-expense paid trip for 2 by signing 3. Or more money transfers to enter with a deal. With Western Union, you get to see just how it feels. Yeah, esto está caliente. De Barrias, really hard to. Hola, hola from the DR. Taking pictures for the gram. F&M just to show you we are. GK Money be the motion, papi mamacita. Go to Grace Kennedy, the team is ready to start because Dominican Republic, destination for the team. With an all-expense paid trip for 2 by signing 3. Or more money transfers to enter, what a deal. With Western Union, you get to see just how it feels, yeah. To see just how it feels, yeah. With Western Union.
Attention, valued customers of the Water and Sewage Corporation. We wish to inform you that our office at the Mall of Marathon will be closing on Friday, February 28th, 2025. But don't worry, we are making it easy for you to continue managing your accounts with us from the comfort of your home or on the go. We encourage you to take advantage of our convenient digital payment options. Visit our website at wsc.com.bs to pay securely. Call us at 302-5630 to pay by phone, or use your preferred financial institution to pay directly. Switching to these online options helps you save time and ensures you never miss a payment. We are here to make your experience as smooth and easy as possible. Thank you for being a valued customer, and we look forward to serving you in new ways.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
CIBC, ambitions made real.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up.
We are back with Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. You can listen to us anytime. You can watch most of our programs on the website and the app as well. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester Robards is with us as well this morning. Coming up, we are going to tell you about Foot Fest 2025. That's coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. And then in our 9 o'clock business hour, we are speaking with the High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas. His Excellency Mark Berman is scheduled to be our guest with us this morning. There's a big Bahamas-Canada trade mission happening right here in Nassau this week, and we're going to find out more from the Canadian perspective on this morning. That's all ahead, but right now it's time to talk about what's in the news. And Chester Robards joining us now. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
Interesting stories in the papers today. The big headlines, the F&M wanting more answers on the moorings deal. The government announced that it has been canceled, but the F&M, we are not going to let this just be swept under the rug. Our Travis Cartwright-Carroll writing about it today. F&M leader Michael Pintard yesterday saying that government officials who were involved in the Davis administration's secret deal, his words, to grant a 21-year lease to Bahamas Moorings Limited to operate mooring services in the Exumas should be dismissed. Pintard said the F&M will not allow the matter to be swept under the rug. As we've been telling you, Monday the government announced that the agreement, which was only made public following public outcry, had been canceled. But Pintard says, quote, there must be accountability for the litany of transgressions that accompany the Bahamas Mooring secret deal, in spite of the Davis administration being forced to abandon this latest fiasco following pressure being applied. And As we told you, one of the shocking revelations here is that the Deputy Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Sandra Hilton Kemp, signed the lease as an agent for Bahamas Moorings Limited. Her husband, Philip Kemp II, is the company's president, according to the cease and desist letter that was sent to him by the Exuma Keys administrator, Christopher Adderley. Wow. So, Pintard, well, of course, the Office of Prime Minister said they acknowledged that an employee in the office acted as a witness to the lease and that this was an issue and that they're conducting an internal review of the matter. But Pintard says this matter should be addressed right away. I keep hearing that there's going to be investigations into these things that seem pretty clear. Like, you know, when the bus driver shot the other bus driver and they said they're going to have an investigation and cooperate with the police. And now he's charged with attempted murder, and there's still nothing to correct the earlier statement that nobody was injured. But that's a whole other story, and I'm digressing quite a bit there, but still waiting for the answers. Still waiting for the answers. Where are these people now? But anyway, let's continue with this. OPM says the company has agreed to voluntarily relinquish its lease. But Pintard is questioning whether Bahamas Moorings Limited will receive any payout due to the cancellation of the agreement. And he says the Prime Minister must tell the nation how much money has been spent and the value of any human resources used in the pursuit of this folly. Does the government have to compensate Bahamas Moorings or any of its affiliates or agents for money spent on this now abandoned misadventure? The Bahamian people demand answers. This is now the second time in a few short months that the government has had to cancel a deal with private concerns due to the ineptitude and failure to follow accepted standards of governance. Let's be reminded that we have yet to be given an explanation as to who is responsible for the $1 million payout to a foreign company on the failed solar deal that provided zero benefits to the Bahamian people. Will the government again have to shell out more money, more Bahamian taxpayer money, to cover their latest screw-up? If not, who is footing the bill? Interesting questions there. Well, we will see.
Didn't the statement say that they were they said they were gonna remove the moorings at their own expense?
At their own expense, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I mean, they seem in their own letter canceled the deal, so I don't.
What? What now? You believe that?
I'm just saying. How does one say, okay, we're gonna pull out and then go ask for money? I'm just thinking about how these things might work.
That might not sound like sense to you and me in the way we would do things, right? That we wouldn't have the guts to do that. But when it comes to government and the taxpayers' money, all manner of strange things happen. Next thing you know, there was a clause in there that said that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that is the case. A clause that says that if anything should happen to cause the deal to be canceled, that we would get this and that and that. So who knows? I think these are good questions that Pintard is asking. We've seen worse happen before.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is a bad question.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking through what might be logical in this case.
We'll see. Will we get the answers? As we see in the paper as well, Fred Mitchell says that, sometimes it's not worth answering the questions that people have.
Well,
because people don't want the truth.
That's true in some instances.
Which part? That people don't want the truth? That's fine. But whether they want to or not, people who are elected officials need to answer the questions that are asked of them.
No, I agree with that. And
whether they like the questions or not.
And I think in a society where we don't get enough questions answered, you should stay away from statements like this.
Yeah, pretty clear. And probably stay away from politics.
That too, if you don't want to answer questions.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So if you have any views on this, folks, give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796.
So is he upset that the questions that have been answered have spurred more questions?
Yeah, and negative responses. Mm-hmm.
Look, I mean, negative responses are what they are, but questions are questions.
We don't know what's happening. More and more, we are puzzled by the responses from Fred Mitchell. It's interesting. It's entertaining, but it's like head scratching.
Maybe that's what he does it for now, more than
to get the attention,
more than information giving. Entertaining,
perhaps. Well, it's got three big positions. I don't know if we want entertainment from the people who hold those positions, but they certainly are entertaining. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Good morning, caller on the line. Hi, good morning. We can't hear you.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing this morning? Both of you, trust you're doing well?
Doing well, yes.
Yeah, Dwight and co., it just might be normal when my party's in power to be benefited and perhaps push something through and sign later. We see with this PL, I mean, have they really officially signed the contract yet? But work's being done?
Well, that last part, we're trying to figure out what's going on there, but the deal, the T's is still being crossed and the I's being dotted, or is it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, under the F&M government, this family would not have tried that because they're not connected. So when my party's in power, I can probably go and leverage a little bit more than I would normally do, and things may just swing my way. That's just the pattern of behavior of politics in the Bahamas.
How do you feel about that? Are you happy about that?
Oh man, I am sad because I happen to know about this family history with this kind of behavior. You want me to go there?
Oh, now which family? See, now you're talking about specific family. I thought you were
speaking
about...
I'm talking about in the question that you talked about, this mooring situation.
Now you're looking for trouble. Okay, we're going to have a good day, though. But okay, I thought you're just generally speaking family, but now you want to... Okay, get us into problems. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Okay. Good morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
This is why it's so important when we talk about having the public's input into matters. Even though we have elected persons to govern on our behalf, the public consultation and also the awareness of information in the public space is so important, where so many of these things that we see going on could have been avoided. The information, in fact, the way how this whole scenario here looks again means that you can't trust any government that comes into governance, because you have things going on behind the scenes that should be concerning to the Bahamian people. Where are the town hall meetings on things like this? It's apparent, according to what I understand, the persons even in Exuma were unaware that this thing was actually a deal and going forward. I mean, where's the public consultation? Where's the public awareness? And then after the fact, after the horse was bolted out of the burning barn, is now when we are all now aware what's going on in our country. This is ridiculous. And I'm not giving any carte blanche to any political party, because both parties have done things atrociously to the Bahamian people. We want a system now, and if it comes down to systems and changes of policies and stuff, these things should also come to the public domain so we have an understanding of how they are governing in our best interest or lack thereof. So I close on this one point. It's not a matter of putting these people inside governance. It's a matter of these policies and these practices that they have. If they don't intend to change them, then this thing will only continue until someone has the guts to begin to dismantle these things that is atrocious to the Bahamian people and start to bring the fixes and the patches to fix these things. And that's all it is, systems. But thanks for taking my call this morning.
Thanks
I'll
a lot.
continue to listen.
I appreciate it. All right, let's read some messages before we move on. There's some really interesting things in the papers I want to get to this morning.
I thought you were going to say on the text.
Oh, yeah, the text line. Well, a day without interesting text messages is a holiday, maybe? I don't know what day that would be.
A holiday.
This person says here, tell Fred Mitchell, if we had freedom of information, we wouldn't have to ask them any questions. Oh, well, I don't know about that one. I will not be voting for them again. Okay. Well, the other people didn't pass it either. None of them not pass it in a way that would be meaningful. It's passed in all but name. Well, just the name, but not enacted fully, and that is the problem. This texture says here, Dwight and Chester, the next line, isn't it interesting how when in opposition, our politicians will speak to all manner of societal issues ad nauseum, but when they are in office, it is a nuisance for them to give account for the actual governance of our country. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? When are we going to put a stop to this madness? Well, I'd be curious to know how you think you can do it. I think that is a problem with politicians all over the world. That's one of their, right? That's the MO of a politician. They got a lot to say when they don't have any positions. But as soon as they're there, they don't want to talk to you.
And they calling you.
And they're banning you from being there at the press conferences.
When they're in opposition, they calling you.
Yeah. Oh, man.
They know you're real good.
They texted you all day. But
when they out of power.
What? When they're in, you phone who this. Not even, you don't even get that.
You're cool again.
Just one tick.
When they in power, they talk to you like you're stupid.
There are a couple of exceptions. One or two.
No, there's lots of exceptions.
You sure?
There's
I don't know about a lot.
Exceptions.
You mean lots since you've been a journalist over right period of time.
Absolutely.
There's been lots. Yeah. But at any time during any administration, one or two exceptions. Yeah. Okay. I can't read this text. You just, these things aren't factual what you're saying. But you're saying here, Fred Mitchell has passed his due date in public life and needs to move on. Okay.
You said that's not factual?
Not that part. The other part was other things, and just that's not true. You cannot read that. But that's your opinion there. That one. Well, what I'd like to know is why the Prime Minister wants to launch an investigation into how this employee in the OPM was able to act as a witness to the moorings deal. Wouldn't the husband have been required to complete documents to indicate if he had any political exposure? Isn't that interesting?
Is that considered political exposure?
Probably. No?
I don't know.
You work for the Office of the Prime Minister?
But you're a public servant. Half the country would be politically exposed if you only had to be a public servant.
In the communications department, a lot of these people have moved in and out, and a lot weren't necessarily there before in public service. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. It's tricky. But let's not act like people don't know who people are married to around here, especially. But anyway, they go on to say, is it believable that the Prime Minister was unaware that the husband was, that this was the husband of his employee? The entire situation simply is unbelievable. What is going on in this country? Why has Exuma seemingly been sold off bit by bit in secret? Why are our islands and keys being sold off to the cruise lines? If 50 to 100-year lease is a sale, what in the world is happening behind these closed doors?
There are other layers to this, because I understand that even if things were above board, the oligarchy would not have let this moorings deal happen.
Wow. Yeah, isn't that something? Status quo. All right, this person, boy, it's getting worse. There's lots of unflattering and unpleasant text messages here. This person says the PLP is heavily strategizing on Pintard and other FNMs personally to break spirits and play on emotions rather than focus on issues. Bahamians are dying because we can't maintain one hospital, but they're promising more.
Wait, what?
I'm not sure
what
what's
that
happening
do with
right now. I don't know what that was.
Any of this?
I'm a little confused.
Just a little attack while the attacking is good?
I don't understand. Dwight, I listen to Guardian Radio every day, and it's sad to hear the cry of the Bahamian people, and it's falling on deaf ears. No accountability, no transparency. Everything is failing in this country, and these governments don't want to fix these vexing problems. Just guns and crime all over running our streets. What are we waiting on until? Okay, I'm not going to read that part there, but yes, serious issues there. She is a high-ranking government official, and therefore her husband is a politically exposed person. Yeah, okay. Yes, everyone's saying conflict of interest. And this text here, anything that will benefit the party and exclude the majority is a fundamental operating standard of both the PLP and the FNM. When people say they are different, let them say what they would do differently when in power to avoid corruption, or how they would mandate disclosures. Both parties are united in avoiding these critical issues and putting everyone else at a disadvantage. This is why they are the same. But more and more, we are finally waking up. Well, I hope that's the case. I don't know if that's true, but I hope. But a lot of them tell you the things that they will do very emphatically, right? And then when they get in, that's not a priority. It's not a priority right now. We've got bigger things to deal with, don't you see? So that also doesn't help. Now, what are we going to do when you see after 2-3 years that they're not doing what they promised and they start changing the tune? What are you going to do? Just wait for the election to vote them out and put the other guys back in? Or are you going to do something else?
Call the Ghostbusters.
Boy. All right, I really want to move on. There's a couple things that are really going to cause me to have a head today. So in the Tribune today, there's this story. Please tell me this isn't real. The headline, Cabinet Subcommittee formed to address shark attacks. Cabinet Subcommittee formed to address shark attacks. This is not a story from some other part of the world. This is the Bahamas.
Did they give it a name?
Listen to the story. Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Jomo Campbell said a cabinet subcommittee has been formed to develop policies addressing shark attacks. This is a dream, right? I'm dreaming. It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still at home dreaming right now, right? 3 shark attacks were reported this month. In Exuma, a Caucasian man suffered serious injuries to his right leg. In Bimini Bay, 2 American women were attacked while swimming. Campbell says the subcommittee intends to meet this week. He urged beachgoers, locals, and tourists to use common sense approaches to minimize risks. He said, you're swimming in the waters, these marine lives, that is their home. They live there. So just how we go home to eat, they come out to eat. And it's very hard sometimes for an animal to distinguish what is a meal from what is the tourist. Oh, God. Or what is the local person simply having fun. So what are we going to do? We're going to train the sharks to what do we do? Is there a shark on the committee or just lawyers? What's anyway? So sometimes we have to take a bit of responsibility for. I got to stop reading it. What's happening now?
What did they name the subcommittee?
Stupidness.
Shark Tank.
The Stupidness Committee. Because you cannot be serious. And again, in all of these situations, these people who were attacked were doing foolishness, right? Jumping off a boat where sharks feed at dusk.
Peak feeding hour.
They tell you this is the time you're looking for trouble if you get into the waters around that time.
They like raccoons and around
dusk,
garbage.
dawn, right? This has got to be a joke.
Maybe it's not just shark attacks. Maybe it's trying to figure out what to do with our shark regulations.
There's no mention of who's on this subcommittee. I don't even know what to say. Okay, call. Man, call in. Tell me what you think of that. 323-6232, 325-4316. A subcommittee formed to address shark attacks.
Maybe it's a submarine committee, and they're going to look for them.
325-4316. 325-4259. Think we're going to have town meetings with the sharks? Like, please, sharks, understand. What are they going to do? 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I'm curious, too, if a shark is going to be on that committee, right? Because
boy,
what is happening in this country? We have cases where we need a subcommittee for crime.
So many things. Yes, crime would be a good one.
What in war involves the native Bahamian, right? But it seems that once foreigners are involved, right, they swiftly try to remedy solutions what they cannot solve anyhow, right? But they try to appear as if they are interested in stopping nonsense from happening. Now, if we don't have no case, we the Bahamians living inside this country, fishermen going out every day fishing, and we ain't having no shark attack.
Isn't that interesting? I cannot recall the last time a Bahamian was attacked by a shark.
I can't recall
Chester,
the
do you
last
remember?
time a Bahamian, but it seems like once foreigners are involved, they go swiftly to try to remedy or try to quell whatever the situation is. But we need a subcommittee on poverty, right? And we need a subcommittee on crime and immigration. How about that, Mr. Prime Minister?
Yep.
Could you all work on something like that?
I could think of a few others too. Housing, we have a housing crisis.
Housing,
something,
the bus transportation,
education, so many
and
things.
this goes on and on. But see, these guys just keep proving that they are just managers of the status quo. They're not interested in changing anything. They only there to make sure what they met in place stay in place, right? Because if that was not the case, all but this 3.5 years into this midnight on whatever they call it government, and they ain't do a thing yet to try to make any payment. Even some of their supporters feel comfortable, right? But they only talking right now simply because 18 months to election, and it could be sooner. It's all the reason why we hear a voice from the opposition or this government, because the problems we face in the day, it ain't just started. It started from administrations long before these ones happened. So I would continue to call these people the status quo managers until we the Bahamian people see some difference in their governance. But right now, the PLP and the FNM is one. You guys have a nice day.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take another call before we get to your text messages. Quite a few text messages here. Good morning, you're on the air. Are you there? Let's take that line there. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, man, you most cost me getting car accident.
I know, right?
Read that article back.
Madness.
Hey, listen, we got the last few shark attacks. We got a young, vibrant fella called Andrew Musgrove.
Andre.
Andrew Musgrove. Shark Week, all those big programs, specialists, swimming with every type of shark. You speaking on behalf of the Bahamian people when it comes to anything related to sharks. Call up and let that man speak on this topic and stop trying to they believe they have the information or the ability to speak on anything. We know we in they call it, we have the largest population of sharks, right? Different populations of sharks in these waters. And what you should be doing is putting up signs and giving people warnings when you come on the beach. You see, hey, at dusk or do not swim in these waters, swim at your own risk. Those things are not highlighted in places like Exuma, where you have a big population of sharks. That's it. And we don't, committee, and we got all kind of different things we need committee for around here. And you talking about shark, and when you come to the Bahamas, you in shark infested waters, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So here's a message. The reason for the committee, there is evidence that a number of our allowed activities, shark feeding, et cetera, has changed the incidence of shark or human interaction. So we need to decide, should we ban the feeding within a mile? There are huge economic and legal implications.
I mean, is it the formation of a subcommittee that's the problem? Because you don't, like the caller said, there are shark experts and people who deal with these things who could give you an opinion on it. Like, do you need a subcommittee? Is that what you're getting at?
Right. That's the thing, right? That's
are
an
any
easy
of these people
fix
experts?
there. if you're going to be feeding sharks, be careful jumping in the water. Do you need, like you say, a whole subcommittee when there's so many other issues that we could use subcommittees on? This just seems a waste of time and resources. But that's a simple fix, right? Simple fix. Hey, stop encouraging, especially tourists, to do nonsense around sharks.
I mean,
signs like the caller said before.
Signs out in the middle of the water, but they should be in like
on the
informationals on the Bahamas, on tourism websites, etc. That's that kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, for heaven's sake, a kid was bitten inside a tank. So.
Oh, my. Anyway, this text says here, we're finally going to arrest these rogue sharks, or maybe accuse them of being in a gang. And then we can get at least something. Yeah, right, exactly. Something with that gang anti-gang legislation. Chester, if we, the citizens, don't gather up 30 or 40,000 and protest, they will continue to ignore us, is suggesting some other things that we should do. I will. Yeah. Okay. All right. I can't read the rest of it.
Well, I mean, an election coming up in a couple months, so y'all only get, do what you usually do, right?
The laughter I let out at the shark subcommittee story, I'm now embarrassed at myself. Boy. So now, brave them going to fly out to the ocean to address the sharks. Can't address the nation about murders, immigration, or the economy. Where we're going to deal with them sharks. Y'all let these grown PLP supporters have time on air supporting clueless leaders. Okay, it's getting personal now. Well, that's our good, smart Minister of Agriculture. What is he going to do when the shark doesn't abide by the policy? Well, again, you could easily just pass this, say, hey, we're not going to allow you to do this around there, a subcommittee. I understand, but, man.
I mean, the question is, have shark attacks been on the rise here? Because feeding's been going on forever for these shark expeditions.
And it is a minuscule number of attacks based on the number of people who are taking part of those things, right? So, I don't know. Maybe the committee will find out what the deal is.
But like you or other people say, some of these private people on these private boats, they go out, stay spearing, bringing back bloody fish by the boat, and the people who in the boat swimming around the boat. I mean, you're stirring a hornet's nest there.
Yeah, absolutely. This text here, so you're going to ignore that SpaceX weather in Bryland yesterday?
That's a troll, right?
I'm ready. What time is it? I'm already exhausted. The cold front that came in, that's what you're talking about? The weather that was originally in the Gulf of Mexico, that's what you're talking about, that moved over Florida and then moved over the Bahamas. You're saying SpaceX caused that. Okay, Texter.
They look like they had a microburst over there, though. Because that wind was wild.
This is exactly in keeping with what was predicted last week by the Department of Meteorology. They said it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And every day they said it was going to happen. And they said Tuesday would be the worst of it. And things would be gradually improving by Wednesday. And so
maybe
not unexpected.
They're using that new SpaceX meteorology.
So don't even follow up with that person. This person says, I was going to ask if you were on the committee, Dwight, but things like this, you are indifferent to, really. You should be vexed to take action.
Huh?
I don't know what they're saying.
Take action against the
sharks?
sharks?
The problem is, this is the same person talking about SpaceX, by the way. So I should tell you something. If it's a paid committee, it is just a way to suck money out of the treasury. Evil continues when good people sit back and do nothing.
I mean, do these subcommittees aren't they people in the office of, are these like external people?
I don't know. The shark doesn't have these political fools to study. Two things our politicians are great at, corruption and deflection. We need a subcommittee on politicians' brains. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. It's no mystery. People are being paid to be on these committees. It's just a way to give family, friends, and lovers and party supporters money. Same as paid consultants who are getting paid to do nothing. Well, I have one solution to our shark issue. Just remove the shark ban. There should be a shark season, point blank. Shark population must be controlled. No need for a committee. It must be controlled because they're coming into your homes and taking over the streets. And what's happening? What are they doing? You can't walk by the beach and not be attacked by a shark? What's the deal? You can't go swimming on Montague and not be accosted by a shark? How is the shark population out of control?
But what do they want to do? Do they want to kill them for killing them's sake? Or do they want to eat them? Or I don't.
Because 3 people were bitten by sharks in the last month. Wow. The Shark Subcommittee is definitely a funny one to start the day. Are they paying the persons on the committee? If so, add our shark expert, Andre Musgrove, and pay him. Make it make sense. As long as it's not a committee, because y'all know these committees are paid between $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Is that true? Or just to sit and talk? I don't know about that one.
No boy.
Use the same approach that Canada gives its hunters. You get a permit and you can capture a few moose per season, etc.
Moose? They hunt for moose?
My goodness gracious. What's the reason? What's the reason? Just because? It was funny now at first, but now it's getting sad. Yeah.
Maybe we got to open season seagulls.
That's a good idea. Because what's more annoying than these seagulls? Huh? Can they form a subcommittee to talk about seagulls and seagull attacks? Have I told you my seagull? I think I have, right? My seagull and pork chop story.
Wow.
And
you know how expensive those lunches are now? It was a dinner.
It wasn't my food.
Oh, it wasn't.
It was the person in front of me.
Oh, wow.
The seagull. They fed it. They threw it at the seagull. The seagull took it, but the seagull was attacked in mid-flight.
By another seagull.
By another seagull trying to get the pork chop, and they fell on my car. I think I told the story before. And the greasy, I don't know what type of pork chop. That's why they threw that away. That greasy pork chop slid down my windshield. I heard that seagull screeching because he lost his food and he was attacked. And like seagulls, let's do away with them.
What did he say?
Cholesterol. Let's go. We're going to pick this up on the other side. There's more, too, in the news, in the paper today, that the pastor at that Haitian church conference is responding, firing back at critics of the Prime Minister's visit. This is going to be an interesting day, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and in the Guardian Radio app with your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:29, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paint. Sherwin-Williams Paint's got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Here's what's going on. We've got a cold front that is drifting now southeastwards into the southeastern Bahamas, producing some shower activity, while it is progressively getting weaker. Meanwhile, weak high-pressure ridging building over the northern islands behind that front, and that front's going to stall over the southeast Bahamas and dissipate by Thursday. Slight troughing will increase shower chances across the northern Bahamas ahead of another weak front expected Friday morning. A weak pressure pattern will continue across the area through the weekend, supporting tranquil marine conditions. By Monday, another frontal boundary is expected. So for today, for most areas, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, becoming mostly fair tonight, a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. Look for high temperatures around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius, a bit warmer for the central and southeast Bahamas. In your extended outlook for Thursday, again, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mostly fair at night. A 20 to 30% chance of showers across the northern and southeast Bahamas. 10% chance elsewhere. By Friday, again, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mostly fair at night. Pretty much the same rain chances across the area. And Saturday into Sunday, partly cloudy across the northern and northwest Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds elsewhere. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check also brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. Screening for colorectal cancer should begin at the age of 45. Reduce your risk for colon cancer and schedule your colonoscopy today at reduced prices for the months of March and April at the office of Dr. Harold Munnings, located next to Princess Margaret Hospital. They're offering an even lower price for those who present with their NHI cards. Give them a call today at 328-5550. That's Grosvenor Medical Center. And it's time for another check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, we're seeing some heavy traffic in eastern New Providence. On Prince Charles Drive, especially near, as you approach Beatrice Avenue westbound, you're going to be seeing that long line of traffic. That's going to continue straight through to Robinson Road, all the way up to Marathon Mall. The Marathon Road and East-West Highway intersection. Very heavy traffic there. Your alternate routes are looking pretty busy as well. Bernard Road, heavy traffic near the schools in the area. And Eastern Road, we are seeing from San Souci straight up to Johnson Road, slow-moving westbound traffic at this hour. Then we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you from just north of St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive. Traffic is back to belong Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill. And Independence Drive seeing some heavy westbound traffic toward the roundabout with Blue Hill Road right now. Blue Hill Road is going to be busy for you again on the way to Cordo Avenue, northbound. And we're seeing heavy traffic on Tawny Queens-Darling Highway west and eastbound as you approach the roundabout with Bahamas Games Boulevard. And then again near the Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic on Milo Butler from well south of Fire Trail northbound straight up to that roundabout. And then again at the Six-Legged roundabout, multiple issues there northbound, eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive, southbound New Providence Highway as well. Gladstone Road, not looking bad. Well, actually, slow-moving traffic for you on Gladstone Road, but manageable compared to Milo Butler Highway at this hour. And Carmichael westbound, some slow-moving traffic to Coral Harbor Road. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
Bahamas, are you ready? The world is coming to live. CONCACAF Beach Soccer World Cup qualifiers, March 11 through 16 at the Beach Soccer Stadium next to the Sydney Poitier Bridge. The Jungle Beach Boys, top 5 in CONCACAF, taking on Mexico, USA, and El Salvador. Beach party meets world-class soccer, non-stop action, jungle rhythms, great food, and pure vibes. And it's free. Bring your crew, ring your cowbells, beat your drums, no whistles. March 11 through 16 at the Beach Soccer Stadium. Visit BahamasFA.net for details. Bahamas Beach Soccer, pure vibes.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Pinda has a new line, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors: Sky Noir, Sky Gris, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Azure. As the name suggests, you would think it has a strong blue component, but the blue is kind of like just a hint in the overall coloring of the porcelain. The blue feature runs more or less the center of the tile, and that's surrounded by light shades of gray. The Sky Azure, like the others in this series, needs to be seen to be appreciated. Stop by Pinda Tile and have a look at Sky Azure, one of the 4 in the Sky series.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
I just woke up from a dream where you and I had to say goodbye, and I don't know what it all means, but since I survived I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be telling you about Foot Fest 2025. Big event coming up. All the details coming up in just a bit. But we continue talking about what's in the news, getting your reaction. The text messages are still coming in about the Cabinet Subcommittee formed to address shark attacks.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So I've been getting messages from someone about why this is a thing, why we need to have a subcommittee, pointing to an incident that happened in another country where there were a number of violent shark attacks and how it chased. Yeah, well, it's always violent, eh? Chased tourists.
Is it violent?
Well, is it not? I mean, it's not intentional, malicious, or anything. It's just
right.
That's
it's not
how
malicious.
they are, right?
But why is it violent? It's how they feed.
Okay. Shark attacks, and how it chased the tourists away.
This is what I was talking about.
Are we near that, or is that a fear that people? I'm not going to the Bahamas because they have a lot of shark attacks. Like that's what we're in fear of.
Well, the thing is, I don't know what this place is you were talking about, but luckily, a lot of our
Middle East.
A lot of our people go to these very large hotels that have pools, so they don't have to worry about going in the water.
But even the beach, I mean. All right. But yeah, so Cabinet Subcommittee formed to address shark attacks.
It's a Cabinet
Interesting
Subcommittee, or is it a Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Subcommittee?
The subcommittee intends to meet this week. He said it. Jomo Campbell, the Minister of Marine Resources, said a Cabinet subcommittee has been formed to develop policies addressing shark attacks.
Okay, because it's a policy thing, right? Okay.
Boy. All right, so the other story I wanted to get to in the paper, pastor fires back at critics of PM's visit to Haitian church conference.
They invited him?
Listen to the story. President of the Abaco Haitian Pastors Association, Octaville Baptiste, fired back at critics yesterday over Prime Minister Philip Davis's visit to its annual church conference. Stressing the event was about unity and not politics. Videos of Davis's visit to the Abaco Church over the weekend circulated online, with some suggesting the Prime Minister was meeting with the Haitian community to gain their votes. However, Baptiste, one of the event's organizers, said Davis attended at their request. He said opposition members, including Michael Pintard, were also present, and both sides shared messages of unity. Yes, other people were telling us that earlier in the week that Pintard was also invited. Mm-hmm. Videos and photos showing politicians from both parties, seen by the Tribune, also prove his claim. In his speech, Prime Minister Davis commended members of the Haitian community for their contributions to Abaco's development, particularly in the island's rebuilding after Hurricane Dorian. He also said the Bahamas has a special relationship with Haiti and urged pastors to help curb illegal migration and prevent the growth of unregulated communities. Pastor Baptiste, saying that Haitians are often used as scapegoats during election season, he said he agrees with the Davis administration's stance on illegal shanty towns, adding, quote, "I myself don't like shanty towns." He said there is a false perception that those from Haitian backgrounds live in shanty towns, noting that many, like himself, live in well-established communities and encourage others to follow the law. Saying, quote, "We are not proud about these things. I preach about it before. And in fact, we, the pastors, we are taking a stand to try to talk to the people because one of the things I believe is to be an abiding, law-abiding citizen and to follow the law and do it the right way. I want Bahamians to know we are not enemies or we don't have anything on our mind to try to take over the Bahamas like Bahamians normally say. We don't have, writing this in the way he speaks, that's not helpful at all. We don't have any agenda or political party. We do not, and it's never anything like that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Scapegoats? Mm-hmm. Or scapevotes?
Oh, boy. Why would you? All right, folks, let's get your reaction really quickly. We don't have much time left for this segment, but let's get your views on this. We got a few messages about this earlier. Some of these are horrible, and I cannot read them. But let's see if we can cipher. decipher the ones that are sensible. This subcommittee, this person says that's why we need the committee to see if the laws need to be revisited, like a ban or open hunting periods. Plenty of people calling for this. I'm not sure what's going on. There was a text earlier that said, yes, here we go. Yes, Chester and Dwight, we need to eat them like we used to for years before the shark ban. We must control the shark population. Eating the sharks, okay.
Well, you can make some good bacon shark.
Boy,
maybe.
Sir. So environmentalists have told you, you do that, you start doing that, and you upset the balance of things, right? And then something else will come in that will take over, and it may be
someone
a big
else?
problem. Maybe even someone. Be a big problem. You're talking about something else. You're talking about something political. Boy. This person says that we are doomed. The PLP and the FNM are one and the same after 50 plus years. There's no denying that. They argue in Parliament and share profit and loss statements with each other. We will not see change in our lifetime. That's just a random text. I don't know about that, but okay.
Will not see change in our lifetime.
Wow. Dwight, you have me crying this morning. I almost ran off the road. I needed this laugh. This is about the shark subcommittee. Mm-hmm. Dwight, it is the shark population. It is for shark population control. There is no real predator for the shark, so they need some control by the humans. Oh, yeah? You and Chester need more education on this issue before you dive, pun intended, into it. Okay. So, again, they're going to get on land and start taking over.
That's the natural evolution, right?
Huh.
Or there could be a tornado that picks them up. That comes on
watching too many of those things. Sharknado, yeah. Mike clearly asks if sharks were on the committee. You left out the shark, then blame me for the text not making sense.
What? But I remember you.
They're saying, no, it wasn't. They're asking if I was going to be on the committee. They're asking if sharks are going to be in the committee. Yes. Okay, fine, Dexter. But can you please find out where the breakfast is coming from for the schools? This is the same texter. This is very random. What's going on? I wonder if Fred Mitchell is on the shark committee.
What was the text about the breakfast?
Same one about the shark being on the committee.
Oh.
I don't know. Violent attacks, sharks are predators. So
they want shark and grits for breakfast?
Oh, they're saying that we could do that.
Oh, really?
No, I'm asking. Is that like we could solve the hunger issues by culling sharks?
Possibly.
Okay, let's take this call quickly. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I know you're well read, and thanks for the little jokes. I enjoyed this one this morning. But you have some great texts, Mr. Strong. But I like the subcommittee joke, right? But the problem is you gave us some information, and the last texter, maybe they should educate themselves because sharks do have predators. Killer whales eat them, and other sharks eat them. So I don't know, I don't know if they know that, but the information you gave out was correct. And most people know that sharks really, they like to feed early in the morning or in the in the evening times, and I've witnessed that myself.
Yeah.
So with the proliferation of sharks, right? Maybe if you open up the season for like a month or so or two, but you can't be worried. But sharks they are there out in the sea, right? But for me, I listened to you, but I was in and out. And what I'm saying is, you said that the guy they was actually feeding the sharks. He jumped in the water where he saw the proliferation of sharks, and so he's feeding the sharks. And sharks are just like any other animal. Even my dog, Dwight, could open the gate with his mouth because he see me doing it so much and open the door. Because suddenly me and have to put a lock on the gate. We had dogs that actually learn things. They watching humans now. So sharks, like any other animal, have learned behavior. So if you throwing food in the water and jumping in the water, the sharks associate that with feeding. So if I jump in the water for boat, this is why when I used to dive, they said it wasn't a good idea to jump in the water. I used to just slip off the outdrive, the wooden piece on the back of the boat, slip into the water. This shark will obviously, he's used to the split splash. And some people on the board, you shake the board looks similar like a fish, right or wrong. And so, I mean, what's the confoundment here? What you confounded about? We're laughing. The two of us are living in a dream world, Mr. Strong. Have a good day.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot. One final call on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning.
Hi. Morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Morning, all.
Good morning.
Listen, they need to leave the sharks alone. Sharks are in their environment, and I think they probably need to have a committee on human behavior. What are they doing that is causing the shark to react that way? I don't think in the Bahamas, how often do we hear about Bahamian attack? Right? It's always a tourist or some expedition, something that they're doing, right? So I don't think they need a committee on sharks and all of that. I think they need to leave the sharks. Sharks are in their environment, and we need to respect that too,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. A couple messages as we go to the break. This person says here, avid boater here. While banning the longline or commercial fishing of sharks is one thing, to allow sharks to populate in marinas and in safe harbors is ridiculous. So again, Texter, this is what happens when you're feeding them, right? When people are throwing...
What's a safe harbor?
Where people are, I guess, is saying, but that only happens if you're feeding them. If they find food there, and you're putting bloody stuff in the water, it's going to be an issue. And so the more we have these,
this is the problem with humans. They want to keep things out of things, and they want to invade spaces, but they don't want the creatures that fight back to
take over the whole place.
Yeah, we just so weird.
Ah, boy. Dwight, humans are hilarious. We want to murder the sharks so we can swim in the sea.
Yeah.
We don't belong there. They do. People feed sharks and get them in a frenzy, then jump in and dive in and look like prey. Leave the sharks alone, people. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is ridiculous. Subcommittee. Ah, my God. Anyway, we got to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to be back. A lot more.
But when it comes to the end, you're just the same as them, same as them. So let it go, that's the way that it goes. First you're in, then you're out, everybody knows. You're hot, then you're cold, you're a lot in the dark. Just you wait and you see that you see sharks. He's coming to get you, whoop, whoop. He's coming to get you. Bubbles, drowning, you see in doubles. Don't you let them see your struggles, hiding your tears. Crisis, take advantage of your niceness. Cut you up in even slices, prey on your fears. You think you're better than them, better than them. You think they're really
Joe and Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use.
Mm-hmm.
So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards. You could avoid sharks if you stick on land and walk, right? And you need your feet to walk. So that's the transition here to our next segment. We're talking about Foot Fest. Foot Fest 2025. Here to tell us all about this. We're very pleased to welcome Italia Gordon and Joyanne Cartwright. Ladies, great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you're both nurses, right?
Correct.
Okay, wonderful stuff. So tell us about Foot Fest before we get into the details. What exactly is Foot Fest all about?
Good morning, everyone. Foot Fest is an initiative that was organized by Dr. Shanika Hill from the Barry University in Miami.
Go Barry.
And following Hurricane Dorian, she saw the need for persons who would have needed help after the devastation in the Bahamas. After reaching out to Dr. Mitchell, who's her colleague, who's also a podiatrist here in Nassau, she decided to come in 2020, along with her colleagues from this college, to offer free services for diabetic persons and also persons having issues with their feet.
Okay. So how big a problem are we seeing with feet issues here in the Bahamas? Is it only diabetics, or what are we looking at here?
It's mainly
Joyanne?
diabetics.
Yeah?
It's mainly diabetics, because it's a huge complication of diabetes. And a lot of our diabetics don't have access to certain care here in the Bahamas because of money, mainly. So we only have 4 podiatrists in country. Wow. And of the 4, only 1 works in the public sector. So that makes it extremely difficult for our vulnerable populations, the elderly, and people afflicted with diabetes to get access to podiatric medicine.
So NHI didn't kind of help that to steer people into
Not yet. Not yet. We're hoping soon.
Yeah, this is a specialty area, so it's not. No, it ain't that easy.
Yeah. So tell us about specific issues that you're seeing with the feet.
So a lot of issues with the feet is certain things start off really small. So with diabetes, there's something called nerve damage or
neuropathy.
Neuropathy. And that means that diabetics tend to not feel their feet. And what happens is sometimes they stump their toe or they get a cut on the foot, and that could actually turn into a huge ulcer. Right. And with diabetics, they don't have the ability to heal the way a healthy person would. So the foot actually just deteriorates, becomes gangrene, and it basically just rots. And eventually the foot is amputated. You have people who just burst out into sores on their foot, and that just continues to deteriorate, and there's nothing you can do about it. So
just out of the blue, they get sores?
Yeah, that could happen, yeah. It's
So
something called diabetic foot.
If you treat it when you see that sore, can you prevent a problem?
You can try and slow down what's going to happen.
Oh my goodness.
You can prevent it getting to that degree of having to lose the foot. But it's a long road. No matter how small that sore is, it's a long road. I've had patients who had like the smallest sore, and we on that foot for like weeks. And then sometimes that balloons into a whole ulcer. And next thing you know, toes gone, foot gone. So that's the issues we facing with our diabetics. Now, the elderly have a different situation. Mainly with the elderly, it's more so their nail care. Like their toenails tend to grow to the point of curling over.
Right.
So that's something we try to help with, because that can turn into an issue too if it curls over and digs back into the flesh.
Wow.
You see that a lot? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of elderly people are neglected. Y'all wouldn't believe it, but a lot of elderly people are really neglected at home, and the nails just growing and growing and growing. So
Do they get harder as well?
Yes.
Yep.
And they have callus on the feet as well.
Yeah.
Even regular persons, they walk around with bunions and callus on their feet. They don't think nothing about it.
Right.
But later on, we have issues. We have, even us as nurses, we can have what is called heel spur. So wearing the proper shoe is also important. So
And
you
you're
need
on
to
your
know.
feet all day.
Yes.
Stuff like
And
that.
even with you sitting down here, and the blood is just pooling.
Oh,
so you need to know how to get up and walk at least every 20 minutes so that the oxygen can go throughout the body and the blood can circulate properly, because you have venous issues, and we call it venous insufficiency. So you have persons with things like deep vein thrombosis. So you can get a blood clot just because of the type of job you're having, sitting down, not moving. So persons are exposed to so many different things with their feet that you have to bring the awareness. And that's why we here at CNCD, We go out in the community, we screen persons, we educate them, and we let them know, well, if you don't want to come to the hospital, we will come to you and help you and educate you to know. And so Foot Fest,
So CNCD, before you go on, what does that stand for?
chronic non-communicable disease.
Okay. All right.
So that's the department that we work with. I'm in charge at the time. And so we try to work along with Dr. Mitchell as well as Dr. Hill, because when we bring our clients, like the elderlies, like the diabetics in, they get the free foot services that they would normally get because, like Ms. Cartwright said, they can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they don't have no one to bring them to the clinic. So once we know that they're hearing this message and they can come to the various clinics and get their free services, we know we're stepping into the right direction. We're trying to help at least one person at a time.
Yeah.
So are the people who are stricken by these things more of a lower socioeconomic bracket, typically?
Yeah, typically.
Yes.
Typically that's the case, which is why they can't get the access to the other podiatrists and other services they may need.
Right.
So they just let whatever happen.
My goodness.
And they accept it and move forward. So that's why we're excited about the Barry University initiative.
Yeah, I want to get to that in just a bit, but you mentioned of the wrong type of shoes. Let's talk about that. People squeezing their feet into shoes that are one or two sizes too small and wearing that all day. How
Flat slippers.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How bad is that?
Let me start with the diabetics specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nurse Cartwright said, there's something known as diabetic neuropathy. That's where the nerve endings, they can literally put their finger and say, the fire, and they wouldn't feel it. They can literally lift up a hot pan because the nerve endings have already stopped as it relates to the oxygenation and for them to feel what's going on. They have no feelings. So with the feet, when they get stick with some type of nail or any type of foreign object, they wouldn't even know that's in their feet. And especially if they're not wearing the right shoes, they're not going to know until like what we were talking about with when they get these ulcers, because they don't know a foreign body is there because they have no feelings in the feet.
Right.
So why we are expressing you should wear the right proper shoes is even if a nail was to try to penetrate, it wouldn't get in directly because you have the right soles on.
Right.
For persons who walk on their feet or work around areas where they have to keep moving, it's proper to wear the orthopedic shoes. I would tell my nurses, if you can't afford it, please do it. It would help with circulation. It would help with avoiding the diseases like we talk about with heel spurs. And so proper mechanisms regarding what you wear on your feet will help to at least halfway get you there with keeping your feet healthy.
Yeah.
Are there like preventative things you could do regularly, like massages, soakings, stuff like that at home?
Now, first you need to make sure that you're not at risk for any blood clots, because before you get a massage, they would ask you that on a questionnaire. And if you are a person taking aspirin, you need to know all of these dynamics before you decide to do that. But I would also advise the compression socks, the compression stockings.
Right.
It helps. And so once you go to your doctor, you get a physical, make sure that you get your lab so you know what you're exposed to and you know what your numbers are regarding whether you're having high blood pressure, cholesterol issues. You would know these things that would put you at risk for developing these type of diseases like the deep vein thrombosis, which is basically a blood clot. And so once you are aware of what your health status is, then you know, okay, I'm working in a facility where I'm standing on my feet or moving around a little bit more than often. I need to wear my compression socks. And nobody have to see it. They have the fashionable ones. And so you can wear them along with your proper orthopedic shoes and you should be fine.
Yeah. You recommend compression socks for anyone, everyone?
Anyone over the age of 40,
Yeah.
especially.
And on their feet.
And on their feet a lot.
Often, yeah.
But seek medical, professional opinion first.
Yeah, because they have to actually measure your calf to tell you the right strength for the compression socks or stocking that you should wear.
Wow. All right. So you mentioned flat shoes or slippers. What's the danger with those? Because a lot of people, especially in the summer, are doing everything in those.
So with the diabetics, first of all, they shouldn't be wearing open-toe shoes in that regard because, like I said, they could hit their foot. Something can go up the nail, and that can cause an issue with them having sores. In addition to that, just typically you shouldn't wear such flat shoes. You need something with support to support the arch. And I can say that from experience because I'm wearing orthopedic shoes right now because I have plantar fasciitis, which is a nerve condition in the foot. So it's just chronic pain, and it's from wearing the wrong shoes. So flat shoes don't give you the support you need. It doesn't give you the cushion you need. And that can lead to long-term problems such as plantar fasciitis, which is a very, very painful thing to live with. Yeah.
And ladies with their stilettos, what do you say to them?
That's a whole array of problems.
I also see them carry the little flats along with it.
Right.
So at least it takes some of the pressure off the back. And the sciatic nerve is a whole different level when it comes to wearing uncomfortable shoes. So you definitely want to advise persons, if you're going to wear the stilettos, at least before the 2-3 hour period, put something on flat just to relax. I know fashion is big with these younger persons especially, but let them know they should carry a comfortable shoe because it takes the pressure off the back, especially later on in life. That's when they're going to really experience it.
Yeah.
Beauty is pain.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Well,
Not my type of beauty.
Oh, wow. So even with men's shoes, we're seeing the heels are getting very thick. You see some sneakers that are like elevated.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Is
yeah.
that good?
Yeah, that's good
Okay.
support. That's
Yeah.
good for the heel, good for the back and everything. That works out well holistically for the body. Because like when you're doing things, it depends on the exercise you do too, whether it's walking, whether you're doing strength training, things of that nature. It'll let you know what shoe you need. If you need something more thick in the heel to support your back while you're lifting, or if you need something that gives you more space with your toes while you're walking and running. Yeah, all those things matter. But
So that's important.
the
Don't
thicker
wear
heel is
running
better.
shoes while you're lifting weights.
Correct. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do
And
that.
vice versa.
Vice versa, yeah.
All right. So what about? Obviously, I know the answer to this. We've got a lot of people who love walking around outside barefoot. What do you say to those folks?
Put your shoes on. Put your shoes on. Don't walk around barefoot.
What about running to the car just for two seconds?
Still put your shoes on. People don't be
Something can
watching
go
the
on
floor,
your
you
feet.
know. Yeah, you never know what you may step on, especially if it's late at night. If it's dark, you never know what you may step on. You never know if you're going to hit something because, at the most inopportune times, you buck your toe.
Yeah.
And that can lead to a lot of problems. You can actually break your toe just
Oh,
by
yes.
stubbing it. I've done that before as well. And that can lead to huge complications for people too. So put on your shoes, just have something right by the door. But our diabetics, an appropriate pair of slippers right by the door so that you can just slip your foot in, run out, run back.
I stub my toe at least once a week.
You
Yeah.
hit your toe at least once a week. I can tell you,
On child
as
toys.
a child growing up, some of us grew up on the island, so running around barefoot was the norm for us. It affects you later on in some cases, because like my colleague would tell you, you can actually pick things up in your feet, but the bone in the toe can actually be affected. I've seen it happen, and like some of us, we know it happened to us too. And so the bone is actually having to be removed because it's compressing.
Oh my goodness.
And that's because of the hitting all the time where you're running up and down barefoot. You're hitting it over a period of time. So later on, when you decide to wear these close-up shoes every day without catching some type of ventilation and relaxing your feet, later on it's painful. And I literally had to get a bone removed because of that, because I
What?
used to play sports and I was wearing tennis so much. But prior to that, as a child, I was running up and down a lot because I grew up on the island barefoot. So it can affect you later on in some cases. So I would always advise you to keep your shoes on.
Wow. All right. So that's interesting. What about keeping the shoes on too long? Are there issues with that and wearing the same shoe every day? What are the problems with that?
We have
Fungus.
risk of fungus because you're sweating and moisture. So you have to have some type of ventilation. So it's a balance.
Yeah.
Keeping it on when you go outside just to make sure that you don't injure your feet, but ensuring that you let your feet air out because you don't want that fungus issue going
So should
on.
you take your shoes off at work?
Come on now. Come on now.
I got to air them out. I don't want a fungus.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I have. If you're sitting behind a desk or something and you want to get a little bit of air, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Oh, boy.
I've done it, but I wouldn't walk around the office that way. No, don't do that.
All right.
It sounds like there's a certain type of popular shoe that checks all the boxes, or that lots of nurses and doctors wear nowadays. I'm just saying. I don't want to call any brands, but
Oh, God.
I know what you mean. And those, for us, and for that particular brand, that's not approved in
it's
our
not.
nursing, but it is something that most people wear for comfort. But when it comes to safety in those shoes, that's the problem. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so what about walking in your house barefoot? Are there issues with that?
is the floor clean?
That's another thing.
That's another story.
That's another thing. Because what if your spouse broke a glass, but he didn't remember to tell you because he thought he's cleans up everything.
Sounds very specific.
A splinter. So
right?
it's a balance. And I guess you have to just weigh the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
Does it work my feet? Or the bedroom slippers are there. My husband, he don't walk nowhere without his shoes on. And he's not a diabetic. That's just him. He can't stand the field of I don't know what, but that's him. But I don't have to worry about his feet because he's always with shoes on.
My mommy too. She always have shoes on in the house.
Even with the rain, wear the proper shoes. In certain areas it floods. So
Right.
definitely you need to wear your those big boots.
So definitely don't take your shoes off when you're walking through a flooded street or something.
Definitely
don't
not.
do that. You don't know what's under there.
Bacteria, all sorts of stuff is in the water.
Parasites.
My goodness gracious. So feet, very exciting stuff. So this is why we need Foot Fest 2025,
Yes.
right? So much to talk about. So tell us about what's going to be happening. This is a whole week of events.
Yes, from the 2nd through the 7th, and we're also traveling to Exuma on the 5th. So they have been traveling for the last 4 years. So far, they have reached out to Abaco, they've reached out to Grand Bahama, and this year is Exuma. So New Providence is getting, and they're trying to actually go to all of the islands of the Bahamas. So every year, this is an initiative that they do around what they call it Sprint Fest, but it's around Spring Fest so that the students would get the opportunity to give back. So
Okay.
when everyone's partying, they're having their give back like through foot care. And so this is something, I think it's a ministry for them. And so it's like giving back, and they chose the Bahamas. So we're so grateful to Barry University for choosing our island.
Yeah. So tell us more about it. There'll be screenings. What else can people
They're
expect?
going to be doing surgeries.
Surgeries?
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
there are some cases where they may need to do surgeries, and so they have days for that. And it's an appointment system, so you have to call the various clinics. And we have the numbers, and we also have a walk-in clinic where you can go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Good News Seventh-day Adventist Church in Flamingo Gardens. So if you're coming in, there's no excuse. You can come in starting Sunday.
So you can just walk in and they'll say you need surgery, and they're going to do surgery that week?
Well, they will schedule you on the day, and
Okay.
they would let you
And
know.
come back later in the week. for
Right.
it. Wow, that's pretty amazing. And again, the cost, this is all
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. So like last year, you had this last year as well,
Yes.
right? How many people did you see or serve during that time?
800, and up to date is
Wow.
12. I think they're up to 1,200 up to date, the last stats I got.
Wow. That's big.
That's wild.
So they went from 20 doctors to 54 podiatric physicians coming over now.
Coming
Here.
Just for
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah, so they started out with 20 first, now they have 54 coming over. And
That's
that's
pretty cool.
along
That's
with the
crazy.
volunteers.
Are you seeing repeat, like people who were treated a couple years ago having to come back for anything, or what?
I only can go based on the stats that Dr. Mitchell would have said. They do have what we call repeat offenders. People, you're here now, and I'm good. The minute you go away, I forget what you say because I'm back to my old habits again. And so sometimes you do see them coming back again.
Yeah. All right, so let people know again what they need to do if they want more information, and if they want to sign up, what are the parameters? What do you need to be doing right now?
Okay, so the numbers for South Beach Clinic Health Center is 392-2123 or through 6. And that's starting from March 2nd, which is Sunday coming, through the 7th. And the other clinic is Elizabeth Estates. The number there is 324-2923 through 7. And that also starts on the 3rd, which is Monday coming through the 7th. Fleming Street Clinic, the number there is 322-6748 through 9. And that starts March 3rd through the 5th, and then on the 7th. Flamingo Gardens Clinic is starting March 5th through the 7th. And the times are 1:30 to 6 p.m. for all of the clinics. And the number for Flamingo Gardens is 361-6430 or 361-5320. And the other sites would be the Family Foot Center, which is on Independence Highway. And that's March 2nd. And that's between the hours of 12 to 5. The number there is 605-3668 or 341-3668. The other sites would be the Good News Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is Great Britain Street, Flamingo Gardens. And that starts at 12 to 5 this coming Sunday. And the number is 827-1338. So that site will be March 2nd, March 4th, and March 5th, where we have the walk-ins coming in.
Okay, excellent, excellent. We have less than a minute left, but I know you have some sponsors that you wanted to thank as well for making this all possible.
Yes, sir. So we want to start off by thanking Barry University and Dr. Hill for coming to us every year. And lives have been changed and are changing as a result of the care that is given. We also want to say a big thank you to Ports International and Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies, Nassau Agencies Limited, Family Foot Center, Spectrum Surgery Center for providing location for our surgeries, the Good News Seventh-day Adventist Church, who stepped up and became the first community site for the Barry Without Borders clinics, and the Adventist Health Professionals and Bahamas Diabetes Association, and of course, the lovely CNCD nurses.
Yeah, of course, definitely. This is wonderful stuff that you're doing. Keep up the great work with the education, and of course, to everybody who's taking part in this, and so many lives. It sounds like you're saving lives. Great initiative. Footfest 2025 starting Sunday, right? March 2nd through 7th, and just a wonderful initiative. Nurses Italia Gordon and Joanne Cartwright, thank you so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate the discussion.
Thank you.
We need to talk about feet more than once a year.
Yes.
Because there's so much more we could say on this, right?
Yes, sir.
So we got to work that out. But thank you for being here this morning. Really
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having us.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break for news headlines and be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. This is Guardian Radio 96.9.
Every time I go for the mailbox, gotta hold myself down. 'Cause I just can't wait till you write me you're coming around. Now I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine.
This is Guardian 6.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we are very pleased to have a very special guest with us today. We have the High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas, His Excellency Mark Berman. Good morning, sir. Welcome. Good to have you with us.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
And you're here primarily because of the Bahamas-Canada Trade Mission.
Yes.
And we're going to want to talk about that and a whole lot of issues with the Bahamas and Canada. But you were telling us off air, this is not your first time to the Bahamas.
No, I've been here. I presented credentials late last year, and I was here in 2023 for the CARICOM heads meeting when Prime Minister Trudeau visited. At that time, I was ambassador to CARICOM as well as Ghana and Suriname, so I was delighted to be here.
Yeah. And you're also the High Commissioner of Canada to Jamaica.
I am,
right?
yes.
So how often are you here? Are you mainly in Jamaica?
I am. I mean, I'm based in Kingston, but I try and get here as often as I can. I hope to be here every few months. And members of my team will come as well, the political, the trade team, consular as well. So we hope to have a presence here as often as we can.
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about the Bahamas and Canada and the relationship, and especially when it comes to trade. What are we looking at right now?
So let's start with what it's looked like over the last few years. I think Bahamas and Canada have got a really strong relationship. Most Canadians know Bahamas well. There's a number of Canadians who live here. We've got a Bahama Canada diaspora largely in the Toronto area, a couple of thousand. So the people-to-people ties are already strong. I think our trade numbers in 2024 were about $300 million back and forth between the two countries. Direct investment was about $27 billion, so largely in the financial industry. So, there's a good relationship, good commercial relationship. It can be stronger. And this trade delegation has been in the works for a long time. Our Prime Minister spoke in 2023, but even before that, I think it had been in the works, and they said we need to strengthen ties. So I'd love to take credit for this. I've been in the job 6 months, but I can't. This has been in the works for a while, and I'm just lucky that I'm in the job when it's coming together.
Okay, so what is the potential? What more can be done? What are you looking for, and what are you hearing from other Canadians?
So I think, first of all, there is an interest in Canada in investing in the Bahamas and in this region. I think they see as a lot of opportunities, and there's a feeling that Canada's strengths really mirror what some of the needs and the opportunities in this region, particularly in technology. So the companies that are coming are going to be focusing in on either in agri-food, green tech, green infrastructure, fintech, education, a number of areas, kind of modern ways of doing business. And it's perfect for a private sector and for the opportunities in a place like the Bahamas, which has a mature private sector, and we think that Canada can bring something to the table. So what we're looking for, this is a first step. We have about 18 companies, 40 businessmen coming in those various sectors. What we hope to do is to bring them together with Bahamas private sector, business to business, get them talking, looking for opportunities. And then from there, hopefully there'll be some deals done and there'll be opportunities to start to invest and set up some business.
Right. What about the other way around? Bahamian businesses getting into Canada, products into Canada. What are the opportunities there?
Well, there's great opportunity. Right now, we have a pretty much duty-free access for any Bahamian products. So there's very little restriction in getting products into the Canadian market. It's really just a matter of promoting the products in Canada. There have been trade delegations from the Bahamas to Canada. We need to look for other opportunities and to try and entice imports. One of the challenges, I think, is transportation. There's limited transportation between Canada and this region. Lots of airline flights, but less cargo related. So that's something that would have to be looked at. Canada's a real supporter of the CARICOM policy. This thing they call 25 by 25. So it's reducing food imports into the CARICOM by 25% by 2025. And we think there's a real opportunity for that. We think that if you look at the CARICOM market, 60 million people, that's a real attraction for Canadian investment. So what we are trying to do on our side is, from a government perspective, is to try and highlight that to Canadian investors and try and get Canadian interest. Part of this is you got to make agriculture sexy. To get young people involved and interested, and because a lot of young people they don't want to be involved. You start to bring computers in, you start to talk about hydroponics, you start to talk about the use of drones and new technologies into agriculture, you start to make it interesting again. So that's, I think, something that Canada can bring to the table.
Yeah.
In terms of ease of trade, is there any work that the legislators on both ends need to do to make that a little more efficient, or are there things that can be done that are new to make trade easier?
I don't think there's an awful lot of barriers between Canada and Bahamas in terms of trade.
Yeah.
I think it's promoting opportunities, and I think it's exactly what we're doing now, and that's bringing business to business. Government can only do so much. At the end of the day, you need to get businesses interested. You need to develop people-to-people relationships, and that's what this is all about. And from there, then you start to promote it. We can certainly have more ongoing dialogue, and that's something we're going to look at. If there are problems, then we talk it through and find a way to resolve it. But you need to get the businesses down here, or the other way around.
Right.
I understand it was no problem getting the Canadian business to come agree to this. They were all kind of jumping on the opportunity. What does that say?
I think they see the opportunities. I think they do. I think Canadian companies want to expand their business. I think they're proud of what they develop. I think we feel that we've got a product that can match anyone in the world. There's a comfort between Canada and the Caribbean, so we already have that relationship. There's almost 1 million Caribbean Canadians, so there's already those people-to-people ties. It's really, I think Canadian businesses need to understand how the private sector and the economies are changing in the islands, and that there are opportunities for them to invest. There are many who already know it, but in some of the new technologies, I think this is a great opportunity.
Yeah. So with the trade mission, again, how many are we expecting? How many people will be taking part in this?
It's about 40 business people, from about 18 different companies in about 4 or 5 different sectors.
Yeah. Are there any set objectives for at the end of this event, at the end of these few days? Anything that we are hoping to see? Anything concrete and firm?
Well, I can't talk for the private sector. I mean, that's the issue. What we can do is we can facilitate this, bring them together. What we hope is that some deals will be done, or they will commit to continuing the conversation that will lead to, opportunities for investment, for setting up, for partnerships. Canada, the way that we do business all over the world is we tend to, we come in, we develop partnerships, we come in for the long term. We invest in the countries that we're coming to. We do training. We want to leave when we want it to be sustainable. That's our model. So it's a win-win. Yeah. So that's what we're hoping this will be the start of, if not a concrete deal, then at least an ongoing conversation that will lead to that.
Yeah.
Are these companies from across Canada, or from kind of almost one specific area, province?
They're from across Canada.
Okay.
Many of them are from the Toronto region. It's our largest city. It's but certainly not only. They are from various parts of Canada.
Right.
And we'll try and do this again. I mean, we're going to look for opportunities, and word of mouth. They'll go back. They'll talk about the opportunities they have. Then the next time we promote something like this, there's more people that are interested and say, yeah, we want an opportunity to do this. So This is really just the first step.
Like Chester said, this was oversubscribed, I believe. This was ready. You've booked up the place. Somebody's asking, repeat the dates of the trade mission. If you can't be a part of this, how can folks who are interested in partnering with Canadian companies, what can they do? What should they do?
Well, the best way is to reach out to our Trade Commissioner's office, and our Senior Trade Commissioner is with me in Nassau. The best way, we'll make sure that we can get that information out. It's on our website for the mission, and they can reach out and engage with the Trade Commissioner's office, and they can give them advice about the services that they provide and making linkages depending on what sector they're interested in.
Yeah. We're talking with High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas, Mark Berman. All right, so I have to ask about this. In between the Bahamas and Canada, we've got the United States and the U.S. President Donald Trump and the T word, tariffs. And we know this is the threat, basically, that he's putting out there for Canada, Mexico. How much of a difference is this going to make if these, I know there's a pause right now, but if there are going to be increased tariffs, what impact will that have on trade with this region, if any?
Well, the first thing I got to say is, I mean, the U.S. is our closest neighbor. We have a long relationship. Our economies are very much integrated in many respects, and we will find a way to work together. It's not the first time that the issue of tariffs have come up. It will take a little bit of time to work this through. We don't know what it'll look like, so we're still waiting to see. And there may well be some impacts short term, but we'll find a way to work towards that. As far as how it will impact Canada's relationship with the Caribbean, it may even provide opportunity. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But our commitment to this region remains, and we're looking for opportunities. The global economy will continue. So,
yeah.
I know you mentioned one of the biggest barriers is kind of the shipping, figuring out those logistics. Is that something that your office does or is working on continually, trying to figure out how to improve those things?
Well, I mean, most of the transportation is private sector. So again, I mean, we can promote the idea, we can have conversations, we can raise in various meetings, and certainly it's something which has been raised by CARICOM on a number of occasions. Not only transportation between Canada and the region, but amongst CARICOM members, which is a real challenge as well. So there have been discussions about opportunities and how Canada or other friends of the CARICOM can assist. But at a certain point, it is private sector, and there has to be a cost-benefit analysis done, and it has to be financially worthwhile. But there are things that we're looking at.
All right, we're getting some very interesting text messages on our text line. You can text us as well, 422-4796. We're going to get to these a little bit later. But I know there are a whole lot of other issues besides trade that you're interested in, climate change. Let's talk about that and the impact this is having on Canada and the future, and what Bahamians need to be keeping in mind in regards to this, as we are all vulnerable to changes in the climate here.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, Canada is well aware of the impact of climate change on this region, and we've tried to be a good friend and a partner to this region and other parts of the world on the climate issue. It's something we take very seriously. We have inputted significant resources into climate financing, and Canada has championed, together with the CARICOM, a process to look at how to improve access to financing for small island states and the Caribbean in particular, because we recognize some of the challenges, particularly for a country like the Bahamas, which has a high, the threshold for income is high, so it's no longer ODA eligible, and we recognize that in itself can be a barrier to accessing finance. So that's something that needs to be recognized within the multilateral system. Canada's facing climate impact. We see it every year. We're seeing more forest fires. We're seeing more drought. We're seeing flooding. So it's having an impact on our agricultural sector. So we're certainly not immune. We're our north, the Arctic, we're seeing changes every year. Less ice cover has having an impact on the flora and the fauna, particularly the large animals like the polar bear, which are having challenges being able to feed themselves with less ice cover. And it will have an impact on something like the Northwest, the Passage, and shipping, and it's a very delicate region. So we have our own issues that we're having to work through, but it just makes us all the more we understand the issues that this region is facing, and we intend to continue to support.
As you know, the Bahamas and Haiti are kind of inextricably linked together. I know Canada has been looking at Haiti, how to help Haiti. Where things stand policy-wise on Haiti?
Well, Canada is absolutely committed to continue to support Haiti. We've been one of the major financiers for the current MSSM initiative. We're currently training any foreign troops that are going in. We're doing that in Kingston. So we have a training base funded and supported by Canadian Forces, training the troops that are going into Haiti. We're also currently training the Haitian police force. and we have a group of Haitian police actually in Kingston right now being trained in drone operations at this time. So we're very much committed to Haiti, working with the CARICOM, recognizing the importance of CARICOM leadership in this, as Haiti's part of that grouping. So we're committed to being there for the long term.
Yeah. So one of these texts is asking, I don't know if this comes before you, but they're saying, I'm happy to see Canada's interest in the Bahamas. Which products are you looking to introduce to our market, if any? And will you be addressing personal banking issues that Bahamians have? So there's a big issue here with people saying that the fees that Canadian banks charge, they are not the types of fees they would charge in the Canadian market. Is that something that would come before you? Is there something that can be done about that?
It's certainly something, if I hear, I can raise it, but I don't have any control over private banks and how they operate. But certainly anything I hear, I'm happy to pass on. As far as products that are concerned, I don't see an awful lot of Canadian products in the Bahamas in the grocery stores. I think there probably could be more products. I see more in some of the other jurisdictions in the CARICOM. So I think there's an opportunity for more products from Canada to come here, and vice versa, for Bahamian products to end up in Canadian stores.
What are some of the products? So that maybe it's an education thing. I don't know if Bahamians are aware. They just lump U.S. and Canadian products all together. But what are some unique Canadian products that you'd like to see here?
Maple syrup.
Of course.
Number one.
Everything from soft drinks and cookies and but I don't want to. I haven't looked at any of the studies about bringing fresh products in. That I'm not sure about, but certainly we have a number of companies that produce products that could easily be found in the stores here.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure which ones. I haven't seen any studies. So I'd have to.
Now, are any other islands from the region represented during the trade mission as well?
No, this is Bahamas,
Just
Canada.
Bahamas, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, very much focused on trade between the two countries.
Excellent. We know we have a lot of Bahamians who go to school in Canada, high school even, definitely in college, and there's always questions about travel and the ease of getting to Canada and the ease of getting into school. What are some things that people need to keep in mind in terms of that?
Well, I think you need to be mindful of for the majority of Bahamians, travel to Canada is visa-free. But if you're going to be a student, you will need a student visa. For that, you will need to prepare in advance because there is a little bit of a process, including the need for biometrics if you haven't done it before. We do not have a visa application center here because the numbers don't warrant it because it's visa-free. What we will do instead is we are going to do biometric teams that will come down to the Bahamas, and we will advertise that so that people know. And if they're planning to come, they need to make sure that they're ready to do their biometrics so they can get their visas. There has been some restriction on students coming to Canada lately, and some people may be aware of that. One of the reasons is because students were facing problems, foreign students, lack of housing, affordability, healthcare, and a number of issues. And we needed to just take a pause to make sure that we got things right so that students were not vulnerable when they came to Canada. It's a temporary issue, but we needed to make sure because we were hearing stories, we were seeing stories of students that were having a tough time, and we wanted to make sure that we were getting it right.
Bahamians were affected by that as well?
I didn't hear any specifics about Bahamians, but there were cases of some international students that were facing issues, which is why there was a bit of a pause on the numbers that were coming in. But we're still open for business. We have some education, private sector education companies that are here. We're always looking for dialogue between education facilities and in Canada and the Bahamas. So it's something we're definitely still interested in.
This texter's asking, how do we get a written confirmation about duty-free access? When I ship products that we manufacture here, into Canada, some packages get charged duty by Canadian Customs. How can they?
Again, I
navigate that?
return to if they have specific questions and products, then we'll make sure we get the number on our trade commissioner's office, and they can answer those questions.
Okay, all right. So we know International Women's Day is coming up, and you have a special initiative with women in leadership.
We do.
Tell us more about that.
So this is really important for Canada. Our whole development and our foreign policy has it's the foreign international policy agenda. And what that means is that we're ensuring that everything we do, we ensure that women and girls are not left behind, that there's equal opportunity for women and girls across the board. Some of that is specific projects to lift women and girls and give them an advantage in areas where we're seeing that they're falling behind. So this is an opportunity for us to recognize young women that are doing excellent work in various parts of society in the Bahamas. And it's an opportunity to raise them up and create an opportunity for other young women and girls to see champions in their society and, hopefully to emulate them. So we're doing that. We also are providing some awards for women in energy, in the energy sector. Right now, women only make up about 20% of workers in the energy sector, and in leadership, it's about 13 or 14%. So this is to start to raise the profile of women who have done well in this sector and kind of say, there are opportunities for women and girls in this sector as well. So that's one of the reasons that we're doing this, and it's important for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just going back to the trade mission, was there anything that you saw coming out of Canada that kind of excited you about what the prospects might be for the Bahamas, or anything new that maybe might not be here right now that you say, wow, that should be here?
Well, what excited us was the interest. We didn't have to work very hard to get companies to say, yeah, we want to come down, and in more than one sector. I think we are excited about getting some of these new technologies on the table. Energy is a big issue, and energy transition and moving into more sustainable energy sources. Canada brings a lot to the table here. Infrastructure, green building practices. We think we've got a lot to offer here. There's already some in the Bahamas. There are Canadian developers here, but I think there's more that we can do. Fintech, agriculture, and education was kind of a chapeau for all of that. So that's what I'm excited about, because I think it's an opportunity for them to showcase and hopefully to find partners.
Yeah. So what are you going to be doing for the rest of your stay here?
Enjoying myself.
Anything planned?
I have a number of meetings with government leaders. When I was here last time, unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay to meet with some of the ministers. So I'm meeting with the Minister of Natural Security, Agriculture, and some other ministers. I was at the Foreign Office earlier this morning, just to talk about our relationship and strengthening it. And so that's going to be ongoing. I'm obviously going to be here for the trade delegation meeting and engaging with business. I know at a certain point I pull back because it's for business to talk, but certainly I'll be there to kind of facilitate dialogue. And that pretty much takes me to the end of the week, and unfortunately I'll have to return, but I'll be looking forward to coming back. But for us, it's really important. Business is one aspect. We're looking at how we can work on peace and security in the region. I met with the Commissioner of Police and her senior officers cadre yesterday to talk about opportunities for partnership, how we can work together, how we can provide opportunities for capacity building where there's opportunities, and working with civil society, meeting how we can work. We have our projects that we can assist, and we're looking at how we can help.
Yeah. Will there be an opportunity for there to be a mission to Canada, or Bahamians can be there in a similar way that Canadian companies are coming here?
Well, it has been recently, and we'll look. Of course, we're going to look for opportunities. And I might add that my counterpart, the Bahamian High Commissioner to Ottawa, will be here, and it's something that we'll talk about.
Okay, excellent. What came out of that last one that happened? Do you know?
Well, I think it probably led to some of the companies that are coming here.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, these are ongoing, ongoing discussions. Part of it was an opportunity for the government and private sector to learn what's out there in Canada and to try and understand some of the technologies. So again, it doesn't always result in an immediate partnership. It's kind of, it takes time. And this is what we need to do. We need to bring everybody together more than once to continue that, and hopefully it'll result in kind of a long-term partnership.
Excellent. All right, so we know that you are mainly in Jamaica, but there is an office here.
We have an honorary consul with two staff here that are here full-time, providing consular services. There are eyes and ears, and then I will constantly have teams coming from Jamaica here engaging.
So if people want more information, what can they do? What should they do?
Go on the website, look up the Canadian High Commission. It will direct you to our Kingston office with the various numbers, and you can reach out, and we're there to respond.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And if you're in business and you're interested, go on the website and you'll get all the information.
Well, you get the contact point, and then you can engage with our Trade Commissioner Service, and they will be able to respond to the questions.
All right, excellent. We're going to take a quick break and then be back to wrap things up with the High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas, Mark Berman. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It's the lottery of love at Everybody Wins.
I love you.
Everybody Wins is giving away over $100,000 in cash prizes in the Lottery of Love.
I love you.
All February long, every $20 spent, you'll receive a raffle ticket. The more you spend, the more chances to win. And you could be among the 30 winners randomly selected on February 28th to win $10, $20, or even $30,000.
I love you.
It's the Lottery of Love at Everybody Wins. Responsibly and get ready to win.
Fall in love with your water service this February with the Water and Sewage Corporation Sweet Savings Campaign. Pay your bill in full on or before the due date. Complete the entry form and we'll sweeten the deal with a 5% discount on your next bill. That's right, save some sweet cash just by keeping your account current. It's simple, it's easy, and it's our way of saying thank you for being a valued customer. Don't miss out. Offer runs from February 1st to the 28th. Show your water service some love and enjoy the savings that come with it. Visit our website at wsc.com.bs today to learn more. Pay in full, save more. It's that simple with Sweet Savings. The Water and Sewage Corporation, refreshing your life with sweet savings this Valentine's Day.
Heed the call to action against abuse and violence and for hope and healing. Join Women Walk 2025, Saturday, March 8th at 9 a.m., Clifford Park. Come, walk, pray, wear purple or white. Stand up for a strong, healthy community. A free event, Saturday, March 8th at 9 a.m.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Welcome back to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday morning. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We are talking with High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas, His Excellency Mark Berman. Our final minute here, and I just want to re-emphasize the commitment to the partnership between the two countries. I know that's important to everybody, of course.
It is very much so, and I think this trade delegation is a reflection of that. This is not only to facilitate business, but it's also to strengthen the partnership between the two countries. And as I said right at the beginning, this is just the first step. We're going to continue to work at this. It's not something we can take for granted at all. As far as if anybody needs to contact us and further information, we have a social media platform, Canada Bahamas, and you can send queries in, and they'll respond and direct you in the right direction as far as the right points of contact. So we'll make sure that people get the information they require.
Excellent. And again, good luck with the Bahamas-Canada Trade Mission that is going over the next few days. Very exciting stuff, and hopefully we'll have some positive news coming out of this.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So enjoy your stay here. We hopefully we'll see you again in the future.
You can count on it.
Excellent stuff.
Thank you.
We're going to leave with some music from a very popular Canadian, Celine Dion. As we go to the break, we'll be back to wrap things up. Thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Mark
James.
Berman. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a bit. Stay with us.
There was no one that you wanted more. Don't go, you know you break my heart. She won't love you like I will. I'm the one who'll stay when she walks away, and you know I'll be standing here still. I'll be waiting for you here inside my heart. I'm the one who wants to love you more. You will see
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
With escalating global conflicts, are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local experts will break down the key economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from Admiral Mike Rogers, former head of U.S. Cyber Command, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. Exuma Chamber of Commerce President Aaron Hanna telling Guardian Business in a statement that he laments the missteps taken on the Bahamas moorings deal, but wants a successful mooring system at Elizabeth Harbor, Great Exuma, in collaboration with the Bahamas National Trust. He says the Exuma Chamber is a strong advocate for sustaining investment opportunities that contribute to both the preservation of the environment and the economic prosperity of the island chain. He says they recognize the merit of the idea presented by Bahamas Moorings Limited and see its potential as a valuable contribution towards safeguarding the marine ecosystem. But he says the installation of a mooring system could be a key strategy in reducing anchor damage to the reefs, enhancing the health of waters, and protecting the natural beauty that attracts tourists to Exuma. Read more on what he had to say in today's Guardian Business section. Guyana is concerned that it is missing out on important tax revenue from its newfound oil wealth, given that the company carrying on the work in the nation's oil fields is a subsidiary of ExxonMobil that's registered in the Bahamas and is not subject to the country's 15% domestic minimum top-up tax, or the laws recently put in place. Several articles from Guyanese publications contend that the sister CARICOM country is losing oil dollars to the Bahamas. An article published by the Staybroke News explains that the Bahamas will be gaining by adopting the OECD Pillar 2 framework, which ensures that multinational enterprises such as ExxonMobil pay a minimum tax of 15%. ExxonMobil has a holding company registered in the Bahamas which covers operations in Guyana. Read more about this interesting story in today's Guardian Business section. The Afro-Caribbean Trade and Logistic Consulting Group, which is headed by Bahamians, hopes that through their inaugural Global Business Trade Expo to Ghana, they can connect Bahamian, Caribbean, and African businesses, develop new trade routes, and eventually purchase a dedicated shipping vessel to service the Caribbean and the Bahamas directly from Africa. That's according to one of the group's founders, Melissa Darville, telling Guardian Business that the group's objectives are to increase trade between Africa and the Caribbean during the April 22nd to 23rd conference. And IRCA, the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, has engaged a firm to conduct a survey on the state of access and use of information and communications technology throughout the Bahamas. IRCA saying in a statement that it has engaged Grebe Sigma Research Company to conduct the comprehensive nationwide survey, the initiative marking a significant step in IRCA's ongoing efforts to evaluate and embrace universal service obligations in the electronic communications sector. Overseas, British energy company BP confirming today that it would slash spending on green ventures and increase its oil and gas production, a change in direction that it hopes will bolster its flagging share price, but has been met with incredulity from climate action campaigners. In a statement titled Reset BP, the company says it will reduce its spending on net zero transition businesses by $5 billion a year to up to $2 billion. By contrast, it said it would increase its investments in oil and gas production by about 20% to $10 billion. The company's CEO saying that the company is focusing its spending on BP's highest returning businesses to drive growth, and that it will be very selective in its investments in renewables. The strategy represents a pullback from the company's much-vaunted plan 5 years ago under then-CEO Bernard Looney to shrink oil and gas production in favor of net zero businesses. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the Basics from Tuesday. Your market movers, Bahamas Waste moving 10,000 shares, closing at 10.94, up 31 cents. Cable Bahamas moving 3,500, closing at 361 unchanged. Commonwealth Brewery moving 11,200, down 1 cent to 11.23. Commonwealth Bank moving 24,500, up 2 cents to $5.02. Doctors Hospital moving 4,000, up 3 cents to 10.52. Consolidated Water up 8 cents to 5.52. Edimir Incorporated up 2 cents to 9.79. The Basics All Share Index closing at 3,002.64, up 0.38. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Chester Robards, that's going to do it for us today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here.
Always a pleasure.
I'll see you again next week.
See you next week.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for